Marcus, well done. Was that the perfect way to get Sunday out of your system?
Yeah, it's always important to win the next fixture, and yeah, it's the only way for us to bounce back, and try and continue the momentum that we had before that game. So yeah, I'm pleased that we managed to win the game, and it's put us in a good way in the tie.
Obviously, a very fast start. Goal after 6 minutes from yourself. How important was that?
Yeah, we always try and start quick, and a goal always helps that. But yeah, I thought that they defended the box quite well in the first half. Second half, it opened up a little bit more, as expected, with the game being 1-1. But yeah, like I said, I'm pleased that we can win the game and start the tie in the right way.
That second half, getting the goals quite quickly after half-time and extending the lead as professionally as you did, I imagine as a team that was quite important.
Yeah, definitely. I think we started well in both halves. And yeah, it's always important to try and score the goals, and in the end, that's the difference.
The last goal for Weghorst, you could see how much it meant to him. Could also see how much it meant to the rest of the team, the way that you guys celebrated with him as well.
Yeah, 100%. As a forward, he gets joy from scoring goals. As good as he works hard and does all the other stuff, he wants to score goals. So yeah, everyone's really pleased for him.
I'm sure there's been some frank words in the last couple of days after Sunday. Your manager asked before the game that you get your standards back. Do you feel like you did that overall today?
Yeah, it's a step back in the right direction. Obviously, we have to just build on this now to gain momentum again, but we can't put too much emphasis on Sunday because it's gone. We can't change it. But yeah, we have to look forward now to the next games.
Really well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marcus.
Yeah, I think Sunday behind Manchester United now after that humiliating defeat, but it was the story coming into the game. So with that in mind, how important was it for Marcus Rashford to get that early goal, just to get the crowd back on their side here at Old Trafford as well?
Yeah, it was. Look, I think the crowd were brilliant anyway. Considering what happened on Sunday, I thought they were really good and behind them from the start. And they needed a very fast start to try and put this game to bed early. It didn't quite work out that way, but it was a great first goal from Marcus, and I love the pass, the quick thinking from Casemiro. It takes 4 or 5 Betis players out of it into Bruno, who, funnily enough, was on the right hand side in this. I think he played most of the game centrally. He gets on to the end of a little bit of a mistake from the Betis defender, and I love the ruthlessness of the finish. There's no way the keeper is saving this. He has absolutely smashed it with a bit of dip on it as well, and there was no way the keeper was saving that.
Great finish, wasn't it, Owen? And the players went out there with a point to prove and scoring.
To be on that list with some of those absolute giants.
Two behind you.
He's after me. He's a centre forward though. I'll let him off.
It's a remarkable record, though, isn't he? Above Cristiano Ronaldo now in terms of European goals in a Manchester United shirt. 26th goal in all competitions this season for Marcus Rashford. What a season he's having. Yeah,
fantastic season. We know he's been quiet for a couple of years, really, and he was getting a lot of stick for that. But he's getting stick because we knew what this lad was capable of, and he's starting to show the world now what he is capable of.
Yeah, he only got 5 goals in the whole of last year's campaign, already on 26, as we've said. But it didn't all go United's way, despite the fact that they dominated the opening stages of the first half. Real Betis managing to get an equaliser in the first half with their first shot on target as well.
Yeah, I mean, United dominated, probably should have had another goal or two, really. But actually, when they got an opportunity to get forward, they had quite a few bodies, and this was actually a brilliant finish from Jose Perez. Whether you want to say it was handball, comes off his arm there, obviously chests it first, but hits his arm and falls into his path. But take nothing away from the finish from Jose Perez. It
feels less important now, that handball decision, Paul, but at the moment in the game, because it was the equaliser and it got Betis back in it, in terms of explaining why that wasn't given, just to clarify the law, because it's in the build-up to the goal and not by the goal scorer, because it was deemed as an accidental handball because it's come off the chest onto the arm, that is why that wasn't given as a handball. I know you don't like the law, though.
Still
but that is the law. Just here to read the laws out.
It's handball. It's not accidental handball for me.
He actually meant it, yeah.
Look at his arm. Look where his arm goes.
Do you think he's done that on purpose?
He's almost trying to catch it with one hand.
Jules, even if you were playing with your mates, Cosy, wouldn't you? You'd say, even in the training game in the park, you say, handball.
If you watch closely, I think it touched his arm first anyway. It looked arm onto chest, and but these rules are stupid.
These laws, the way they're written, it's getting ridiculous, isn't it?
Handball's handball. It's handball. It's led to a goal, and it should have been disallowed.
Well, luckily...
The refs and the law book deem it differently. Good finish by Perez, though.
Yeah, it was a great finish by Perez. Luckily, that didn't matter too much. But before half-time, my goodness me, did they come close to going in front.
Yeah, just a kind of an awkward moment. Probably Varane overhits it a bit too hard. David keeps it inside his feet, just places.
But you know what? It wasn't a great night for playing out the back anyway, with conditions and stuff. David isn't the best footballer. Let me put it that way. And very strange pass straight to him. And United to get away with this. And as you say at the time, that could have gone to 2-1. It could have been different. But looking at the second half, I think United would have stepped up a gear anyway. And I think they've still been comfortable in this time.
Yeah, because they slightly lost their way at the end of the first half. Was it even more impressive that they came out second half and got those goals nice and early just to kind of put the game to bed, really?
Yeah, I think Ten Hag probably would have had a go at them and said, look, we should have had a couple more goals in that first half. And obviously they could have taken the lead with the little mistake that United had. But I thought second half they were brilliant. All the attacking players created opportunities. Even the players that came off from the bench, Pellistri and Sancho. But Bruno Fernandes was at the heart of everything good Man United did today. Anthony, obviously, we've seen in moments against Barcelona. He pops up, but this is all created from Bruno Fernandes. How about this for a little chop? Whoop. Once he's in there.
You loved the build-up to this goal,
honestly, Bruno had a 2-minute spell where he was absolutely unplayable. Every touch was perfect. And Anthony, I don't know how he keeps allowing himself to get onto his left foot, because when he comes inside, we saw it against Barcelona. We've seen it so many times this season. He finds a way, and that is a brilliant finish from him. It really is.
What a goal. It's his trademark goal, Paul.
It's what he's very good at, that little cut inside and bends it casually into that top corner. I think as an opposing manager or coach, you'd be frustrated with that, because you know how good he is at that. You try and stop it. The left back has to try and do better. And the goalkeeper has to read that, because he's brilliant at it. But with all the antics he shows on the pitch, that is one quality he really does have.
Well, is it frustrating for Manchester United fans? Because as good as he is on his left foot, he could have had a hat-trick tonight with some of the other chances that he had. Is his decision-making sometimes not right for you?
Well, to be fair, I love this one too. I think this is what he's good at, linking there. He's just got to square that. I mean, obviously, he just got a great goal, and he probably wants another one, and goes for a little dink there. His teammates won't be happy with him. One thing's for sure, Erik ten Hag wasn't happy with him as well, because that would have killed the game at that point. But just decision making. He's got to tighten that up a bit. But I think I prefer him more inside the pitch rather than outside. When he outside, I think he's as comfortable. And I think when he comes inside and links more, it looks like he creates more and he's more effective. And he probably could have had a hat-trick today.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think decision-making is something that we'll get. But we have to remember, I think he's only 22 years of age. He's come over to a new country, still getting used to the league and his other players. He definitely should square that. And that's where decision-making, if that comes into a bigger game where it's a tighter game, then things like that become important.
2-1 at that point. And then Bruno Fernandes with a brilliant header, the run as he comes into the box just to get the power on the header for this third goal was absolutely brilliant from Bruno. But this is the way Manchester United wanted to see their captain respond, isn't it? Yeah,
a great header. But actually, we're going to look at it a bit more detail there. You just see, Luke Shaw puts in a great ball. He knows exactly what he wants. Obviously, the two players there are just pinning it, so he gets a little moment there to get a free header. Honestly, it's really good from the United coaches, just to provide this little moment. Little, whether it's Varane or Marcus or Casemiro or Martinez at that near post, just providing a little moment to get the ball into that area. And he was brilliant, Bruno Fernandes, today. Obviously creating, scoring, setting goals up. Honestly, he was the best player on the pitch. Before the game, we talked about the criticism he received after the 7-0 defeat. Saw a lot better of him tonight, didn't we? That's the Bruno we've seen this season. Yeah, it was, and I think a lot of it comes from playing centrally, where he's more comfortable. As I said before the game, he's sacrificed himself a lot, being shoved out to the left, being shoved out to the right. He was brilliant today in that central midfield role. He probably played a little bit deeper than Fred did, really, and tried to control the game, and thought he was sensational. As I said, good composure, and that's what you expect from a Manchester midfield player and a captain. There's none of them antics. There was one slight incident that we may have a look at that was probably out of character.
Welcome Manchester United News Channel, the home of Red Devils fans. One player who is likely to be offloaded and could bring in a decent amount is club skipper Harry Maguire. The centre-back has seen his stock fall dramatically under the former Ajax coach. Maguire is currently fifth choice, with Luke Shaw playing as a centre-back at times, while the England man has had to be content with a place on the bench. Aston Villa were rumoured to be after the England international, but the Sun have now reported that Paris Saint-Germain are also interested. Harry Maguire is a shock £50 million summer target for misfiring French giants Paris Saint-Germain. Sunsport can reveal that a deal was on the table for Manchester United skipper in the January transfer window, but time ran out before it could be finalised, the report revealed. PSG, who crashed out of the Champions League yet again, have been criticised for their recruitment in recent seasons, with attacking signings taking precedence over defensive cover. Subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any news.